So the scoop is that's exactly what we want to do here. And what I like to do is I like to give myself a little bit of an advantage. And so I'm not just going to do what's called a buy right covered call or a protected buy right covered call. The difference between those two is that I'm putting some a protective put in place. I'm not going to do all the transactions all at once. Instead, I'm going to take the approach of legging into the different transactions, separating them out in time. And I'm going to do that because I know that Xerox is trending sideways and it's kind of in this sawtooth pattern. I call it a choppy. See, if we look over the last year, you can see that Xerox tends to find a low here around 13.50, $14 a share, and then it tends to go up and meander its way up to about $17 a share. And it's been doing that since, gosh, back in a year. It's been doing that for about a year ago. September of 2020 is when it started doing that. And so if I want to leg into a position, I'll buy some stock now, and then once it accrues in price a little bit, maybe I'll buy it at this low. It's currently trading at about 14.66. I could probably get it for 14.50 today. I've actually been accruing some Xerox stock over the last couple of weeks, and I've been getting it at as low as $14. And I'm going to wait until it gets up around 15 or 16. Once it's up at 15 or 16, I'll then sell the call, make a little bit of premium on it, and buy the protective put. And by buying the protective put, then I'll get a much cheaper price for that protection. And it'll give me the ability to then roll the protective put out at a later date and make some money on it. So I want to be strategic and I want this trade to last a long time. I want to be able to put a good portion of my portfolio into Xerox and just have it accrue. I don't want to have to do too much activity to keep Xerox trade working for me. And so by buying this initial stock at a low, and then every time it's at a high, I sell the call premium, I buy the protective put, and then I simply rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. When it hits low, I sell back the protection. When it goes high, I put those two trades back on. And if I'm doing that once a month, that'll be fantastic. I'll probably pull just just right over double digits, probably around 10% ROI on this every month.
And so, obviously, if you're owning the stock and it goes up in price, that's good. But what if you see a spike to the upside? What happens to the option? Because you sold the premium?
Mm.
Is there any additional risk there?
So a couple of things. So first of all, we look for signals before we sell our premium that a top has been found. And we've got, we use volume validation like we've been talking about to make sure that investors we get a good amount of confidence in ourselves that investors are done seeing any sort of accumulation and they're ready to start bringing the price back down. They want to take some profits. But you're right, there's always that slim chance that once you've sold premium, say for instance, we let the price creep up to $16 and then we come over here to our options. And once it's up at $16, we decide to sell either the 16 or the $17 call. Now, when we sell that 16 or $17 call, the one that's going to expire on June 16th, or if we go farther out, July 21st, basically what we're doing is we're selling somebody the right to buy our stock from us at that higher price. Now, if we bought it like I did down here at $14.50, it's not the worst thing in the world to have somebody come to us and say, I'm going to go ahead and exercise my right and give you the $17 because I just now made, the difference between 17 and whatever I paid, 14.50, $14. I made $3 a share if they exercise me. But at the same time, in order to get that right from me, in order to have that opportunity, they pay me a premium up front. So I also get that premium. All to say that if, I was wrong and the price does go a little bit higher. In other words, I didn't read investor sentiment correctly. They weren't done accumulating and wanted to start distributing or selling their positions and taking the little profit they made. If they decide to drive price higher, the worst thing that's going to happen is somebody's going to exercise the contract and take that position away from me at a huge gain. So that's a win situation too. It just means I'm going to have a chunk of cash that I'm going to move on to the next position
So you basically give up your shares. You're like, okay, you've reached the target.
at a huge profit.
Yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah.
that's the difference of legging in. If I were to have done both transactions today, bought the stock for 14.50 and then say immediately sold the $15, I'd have to take $15, right? That's what I'm agreeing. That's what I'm obligated to receive in return for my stocks. But if I just am a little patient and I wait for the stock to appreciate and then sell it when it's now I've just built a huge amount of profit. If somebody does decide to take my stock away, they're going to have to take it away for a higher price.